Hi, I'm Andy Hayward, and you are watching a podcast where nostalgia comes alive. It's Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Roll it!
Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Join Jake and his friends on a journey through pop culture of the past, where they interview professionals in the worlds of acting, directing, writing, puppeteering, and so much more. Who will they be chatting with today? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Happy here with us. Thank you for joining. As always, I'm your host, Jake Duffenball. With me today, as always, co-host that you've been seeing every episode. You all know it, Chris Bixby. How's it going, my friend?
Doing good, Jake. Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Doing great as always, Chris. Thank you for asking.
Yes, we had a wonderful interview for you folks. Your only clue until Jake says who it is we've interviewed a lot of people from this show. No, it's not Sesame, but it is another show that has, puppets in a very iconic show. But I won't waste any more time. Jake, tell everyone who it is.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Today's guest we have in this episode is Canadian puppeteer Ingrid Hansen. It will touch base her puppetry career throughout this chat, including her involvements in some series on a Sesame Workshop production series, Helpsters for Performing Heart, and Emmy Award-winning Fraggle Rock revival series, Fraggle Rock, Puppeteer Rock, doing the puppetry for Ma Gorg and perform Lanford and various other background characters. In addition, she's a co-founder of SNAFU, which we'll discuss some of the work through there too, and so much more. So without further ado, enjoy our chat with Ingrid. See you then. Hello everyone, welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, the podcast where nostalgia comes alive. Today we have with us is Ingrid Hansen. Welcome, Ingrid. Happy to have you here.
Hi, Jake and Chris. Hi, how are you?
Doing good.
Oh, doing good. Thank you. How about you?
I'm great. It's beautiful here. I'm on the West Coast. It never snows.
Well, we're glad for you to be in the show. It really means a lot. So thank you very much. So to kick things off, we know who you are, but for those who don't, could you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Okay. My name is Ingrid Hansen. I'm a puppeteer, and I puppeteer on television and also in live theatrical shows. And I trained as an actor and as a dancer, and then got into puppetry in 2008. My first professional job was working on a TV show, 2008. I'm also the co-artistic producer of a theater company in Canada called SNAFU, the SNAFU Society of Unexpected Spectacles. And we create shows here in Victoria, Canada, and we also create shows that we tour all over the world. What about it? I don't know. I'm a person. I like to go outside. I'm stoked to be on your podcast. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, what was your childhood like before working in puppetry and voiceover?
I had an awesome childhood. So I grew up with my family in the Okanagan in the interior of British Columbia, and spent a lot of time outside, like climbing trees and making snow forts, and yeah, and we watched a lot of the Muppets and Sesame Street and Sesame Park, the Canadian Sesame Street, which
Right.
French segments, of course, because in Canada we speak two languages, sort of. Yeah, and I didn't watch a ton of TV. So my knowledge of like celebrities and my knowledge of pop culture is not always great. But yeah, we spent a lot of time outside. Every summer we got to go up to my aunt and uncle's farm in northern British Columbia and basically like pretend to be farm kids for 2 weeks and drive a tiny truck around and build forts in the haylofts and get in trouble, and yeah, and then in my teen years, I started doing dance, and through that got into theater. Did a whole bunch of musicals and stuff like that, singing and dancing and being a big nerd. And then we also had this amazing we had this amazing class you could take in high school that was an alternative to PE or to gym, and it was called
Okay.
outdoor education. You ever heard of that?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you basically learn how to survive in the outdoors. And then either 1 to 3 times per semester, you would go on a massive camping trip. We went camping, we went whitewater rafting, we
Oh,
built,
wow.
yeah, we like built snow caves and slept in them, like not quite igloos, but kind of like that, like big, like
Oh, that's
That's
caves.
it's
cool.
really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had some really awesome times. I made some really great friends doing that. So that kind of, I remember that would kind of balance out my life when I was a teenager. Like, um, when I would get stressed or just like, so much going on in life and school, you would go on a camping trip and just spend a whole bunch of time in the woods. Um, and that just kind of balanced everything out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful. So, I'm kind of curious, what's like, were you always, wanted to work in puppetry or voiceover, or was there anything else that you wanted to pursue at some point?
Well, as a kid, I think I just chose chose jobs based on what was around. Like I don't think I knew that puppetry was a job. But when we were kids, we made our own puppet show, which was terrible. Using my grandma's like vintage VCR style, what do you call it? Like a VHS camcorder, which you had the big
Hmm.
VHS tapes you would slide in the side
Yeah.
and close,
Right. Uh-huh.
and we had no editing capabilities at all, so we just had to shoot everything sequentially, and if we shot something and didn't like it, we had to rewind the tape and shoot it again. So literally no editing capabilities at all, and our teddy bears were the protagonist puppets, and so we would like set up 2 cardboard boxes and then film in between them so that the cardboard boxes hit our bodies, and then we would puppeteer our teddy bears. And we did a ripoff of Batman and Robin because that had recently come out. So we
Oh
did
wow.
Bat Bear and Robin. And we would like get all the neighborhood kids to come over and help us with special effects, which meant like flicking the light switch on and off, or like playing music on a cassette tape near the camera so that it would pick up the sound. Um, yeah. So I love puppetry. I love puppets, but I don't think I knew it was a job. And I always wanted to be a
Right.
cartoon, but I don't think I knew that voice
Okay.
acting was a job either. So when I was a kid, I think I wanted to be a teacher or like an author. Or at one point, I thought I was going to be a wildlife photographer. And I spent a summer taking a lot of photos of ducks, which were terrible, but I thought they were very good. Um, yeah. So no, I didn't want to be a puppeteer. I don't think I knew it was a job.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So now what were some of your favorite puppets and puppetry projects growing up? I know you mentioned watching, Sesame Street and Sesame Park.
Yeah, and a little bit of Muppets too, and other.
Like favorite shows that I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like favorite puppets growing up as well.
Ugh. I love Gonzo. I
Oh
really love
yeah,
Gonzo.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. How
And
Dave
because I love
goals.
Yeah, and because I love Gonzo, I really love Muppets from Space.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
film. Yeah.
And I really love Bobo the Bear too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good in that movie.
Yeah, Bill Burr's doing a great job.
Yeah.
He's the
And
best,
Pepe.
Yeah.
I love
of course.
Pepe. Um, yeah. And then from all the Sesame characters, I think I love Grover. Um,
Yeah. A lot of people love Grover. Yeah, Grover's awesome.
yeah, and
Yes.
then on Sesame Park, we had some characters you didn't have in the American Sesame. Like we had a polar bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Right. Okay.
but and of course I loved Animal. I love the Agents of Chaos.
Yeah.
And of course Piggy, 'cause she's iconic. Um, and I love that she would just karate chop her way out of any problem. Such a good
Yeah.
role model.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I would really love to one day meet Frank Oz. That would be incredible. Could you imagine?
That would be
Yeah.
Have you
incredible.
guys
Yeah.
interviewed
Yeah.
Frank?
No. No, but
No.
meeting him would be like a dream come true.
Yeah,
Have
that'd
you ever
be
asked him?
No, I mean he seems to be a very private person, so I don't know if
Yeah.
he would like really doing interviews, but just meeting him, maybe not as an interview, but just meeting him would be a dream come true.
You should ask him. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, who
You
knows?
never know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
Do it. I want to watch the interview.
I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm kind of curious, where did you got to train for puppetry, kind of first starting to taking like puppetry kind of like seriously, and like, and what was like your first professionally like puppet job, if you do remember?
Yeah, so I trained I trained as a dancer and then as an actor, and I did my bachelor's in fine arts and acting at University of Victoria. And I did lots of plays and stuff like that. And then I always auditioned for everything that I could find. I was always scoping the internet and all the audition postings and stuff. And I would go out and audition for stuff even if I didn't have any of the qualifications. Like, we need tap dancers. Like, I don't tap, but I auditioned for it. I would do that because it's good practice and everything. So I saw an audition posting in Victoria, Canada they were making a new television series, and part of the audition was a free training workshop with Tim Gosley, who is an amazing.
Oh yeah,
Tim, yeah, he's
Yeah.
great.
Did he go on your show?
he did.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
he's wonderful.
he's just the best. So I saw this posting, free audition workshop. Part of the workshop was free coaching with Tim Gosley as part of the workshop, part of the audition, sorry. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to get this job because I don't have any puppetry training, but I want to meet this guy. I want to meet Tim Gosley. So I signed up I submitted, I got selected to audition, and I went into the audition. I didn't think I was going to get it. So I wasn't worried about it. Right. I was just there to have fun, and I wanted to meet Tim. And I remember
Right.
he had a little yellow, kind of fraggly-ish puppet on my hand that he was coaching me with, and we were doing monitor work, and it's the first time I'd ever done monitor work ever. And he was getting me to put little bits of fluff on the puppet's head and then have it pop into screen and all the fluff fall out as if it was a little gopher puppet popping out of its hole and all the dirt was falling off of its head. And so it was just him and I in the room, and I was practicing on the monitor, practicing popping up and down, improvising, saying dumb stuff to the camera and just goofing around with the character. And I was just so into having so much fun playing with the camera monitor setup. And Tim wandered away at one point, and I just kept playing and goofing around, talking to the camera and being a little idiot. And then at one point I just stopped, and I looked up, and I noticed that the director and the producer and the writer and everybody had walked into the room and was sitting quietly at the table watching me just mess around. And then finally they said, "Would you like to start?" I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't even see them come in, and I don't know how long they'd been sitting there watching me just like mess around like an idiot. And then I got the job.
Wow, that's awesome.
So my first
That's
gig,
great.
I got free boot camp puppetry training with Tim. So that was part of the whole job, as they were hiring new people, and the Tim kind of boot camp style trained me to do monitor puppetry. So my first puppet job, I was playing a lead character on a Canadian TV series called Tiga Talk.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So now, I guess similarly with voiceover, what was your first voice acting job?
I mean, most of my voice acting has been through puppetry, but and then we made all the albums for Helpsters and stuff, and the albums for Fraggle Rock, all the singing. And Tiga Talk had a ton of singing in it. Oh my god, we had at least 3 songs in every episode. So that was my first experience, like being in the voice acting booth, was recording songs for Tiga Talk, where I was singing, in a little gopher voice. She's singing all the time, and she's singing.
Yeah,
And
you performing Gertie G, Gopher, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then my first like non puppet voice acting gig. I can't think off the top of my head. Like, I've done some video game stuff and some kind of radio drama. Oh, I did a really weird gig that was as a volunteer, called Job, and I didn't know what I was going in for, and they're like, "It's called Job," or I thought it was called Job, but it turns out it was the story of Job. The
Oh,
Bible. I didn't know
Nice.
anything about it. Anyways, so I guess that officially was my first voice acting job, was
Nice, nice.
That's great. So now, kind of like transition to the series. What was it like, puppeteering for a Tick and a Skeeter? Like, what was that
Oh,
job like?
that was really fun. I worked with Jamie Shannon, who's
Yeah,
co-creator of Nanoland and
yeah, and
co-creator of Mr.
Mr. Meaty and
Meaty.
Big and Small. He's done a lot of Canadian
Yeah, I
puppetry
love
stuff.
working with Jamie. He's hilarious. It it was really fun. I mean, there are these two bugs that are living in some party animal's hair, and because the party animal that they're living on is partying all the time, so he's constantly inebriated. So the bugs are inebriated all the time. So yeah, I mean, we really could kind of do anything, say anything. And I had this puppet with this super long mosquito proboscis on the end of its nose, so you could really anything you do was really amplified by the schnoz just like whipping around. So yeah, it was that was so much fun. I'm just gonna adjust the chair. Adjusting the chair. Um, yeah, I had a great time. But I was
Nice.
nervous.
That's wonderful. So for now with super simple TV stuff, now you got to assist on the sing along with Toby.
Mm-hmm.
And what was doing some of the work for super simple TV like?
Oh, it was lovely. It was very simple, like they've got the one camera set up, or maybe it was two. And I mean, I love creating that's the super simple songs. They create really great, simple, educational television for young children and for children who are learning new languages, like learning English or learning Spanish. And so their team was really neat. Like I remember the director was talking about how he first got into creating educational television because he was working teaching English to little children, really young children in Japan. So they had a real great solid foundation in it's like gentle educational practices for young kids. It was really sweet. Yeah.
Nice. And
It's wonderful.
yeah, and so I'm not sure if you worked on it, but there is an episode of Sing Along with Toby that featured a group that's been talked about a few times on this podcast, the Wiggles. I was wondering if you worked on that
Oh
episode.
no, that wasn't me. No, no.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Okay.
Um,
I honestly forgot that they even be on there, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Yeah, I was in like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, okay.
no, I've
Yeah.
never met the Wiggles. My friend Kim Persona, who is Miss Persona, she worked with the Wiggles, but I didn't work on that episode either. But
Ah, gotcha.
yeah, they're a phenomenon.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, of course. And one of our previous guests, the amazing, wonderful Auntie Hayward, got to be involved in a little bit
Yeah.
of Super Simple too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's amazing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Andy's
he's so
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
He's so wonderful. So now you got to puppeteer on the last two seasons of Miss Persona, puppeteering Melissa the dog. What was that show like?
Oh my gosh. That show was incredible. I'm waiting for them to call me one day that we're gonna do more episodes because I know they've written more. But Kim and Brandon are incredible. Kim Persona is you know true Renaissance man and just an incredible leader. Like the atmosphere on that set was like such a fun, kind family. A lot of people wearing multiple hats. They I got to sometimes I was wrangling on that show, sometimes I was puppeteering Melissa, sometimes I was directing some of the music videos
Oh,
on that
cool.
show, and I did a lot of Kim's choreography for her dance numbers.
Right.
Yeah, so I got to choreograph. Trevor K. Wilson was a guest on the show. I don't know if you know him, but he's on Letterkenny. He plays
Hmm.
Squirrely Dan.
Okay.
He's an amazing Canadian comedian. So I got to work with Squirrely Dan. I got to direct Fred Penner, who's a Canadian children's television icon. He's kind of like on par with like Mr. Dressup or Mr. Rogers in terms of fame when you come to Canadian television for children.
Okay.
So I got to direct a bunch of episodes with Fred Penner. Yeah, but those puppets are built by Andy Hayward, and they're
Oh,
gorgeous.
nice.
Yeah,
And
Andy.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, builds just like beautiful Cadillac puppets, and they're so fun to work with. And
Yeah.
they're that glove style, right? So you've got between 1 to 3 fingers in the puppet's head, and then you've got your pinky and your thumb doing the puppet's arms. And so the design of like glove style puppets, the design is so simple. You have to be very specific with your eye focus and with your choreography, because they're not talking. They have to communicate everything through their body language and everything. And I had so much fun because I asked, I don't know if it was Andy's idea or my idea, but I got Melissa to have a tail rod so that with my other hand, I could, with my one hand, I'm doing Melissa's head and arms, and with the other hand, I could wag her tail. And that was just so much fun because with dogs, as you know, it's all about the tail, it's all about the butt.
Yeah.
In terms of dogs communicating their excitement and their emotions with each other. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And the wonderful Mike Pearson was on that series too.
Yeah, I love Mike. Yeah.
Oh man, we had so much fun together. So
That's
much fun.
wonderful.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's been on the show too. He's one of our kind of more earlier guests. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. So now you also helped with some of the like unboxing and crafting segments on the show. Can you kind of talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got that gig because Kim didn't want to. It's Kim the lead, and she's just like, "Oh God, it's so meticulous," and but also I loved it. I got to be the hand model, like the hands, play Kim's hands, building all the meticulous little kids crafts and just displaying them, kind of Vanna Whiting them to the camera. So we spent several days in a studio just doing crafts all day, every day crafts. And I remember the first time we did it, they had me get a manicure to match Kim's manicure, and it was these purple nails that are fingernails that are extended, like they're acrylic, so they're like extra fingernails glued onto your fingernails, kind of like tiny claws. And I'd never worn those before because I'm not a fancy person. And all of a sudden I had to do all these really meticulous crafts on camera with these fingernail extensions. And I don't know if you've ever seen a dog wearing boots,
Hmm.
like when people put
Interesting.
shoes on
Yeah.
their dogs
Right.
and they're walking in the snow, like this kind of like, and they feel so like they can't walk. That was me with these nails trying to pick up beads and like do crafts and stuff with these weird fingernail extensions, because you're not used to having your fingers extend beyond. I don't know. It was hilarious. So I had to really quickly learn how to navigate with these extendo glam nails. Um, but I had so much fun.
That's
Love
awesome.
crafts. I love
Yeah,
art.
it's great. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Did you get a chance to got to work with Alison Court on that series
Yeah.
too?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How was it getting to work with her?
Oh, she's lovely. She's so lovely. She plays a character on the show. She also directed some episodes. So I got to work with her a bunch. Yeah, Allison, she's another Canadian TV legend.
Yeah, from
Um,
of course, big comfy couch and
yeah,
Yeah.
and
you know.
and they also the actor who plays the shopkeeper is a famous wrestler.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. That's interesting. Wow.
Yep. That's great. So now moving on to Helpsters. Of course, you got to perform Heart on that series. What was it? What was that? How you kind of got to be involved in that, and what was like the audition process? Like, can like tell us like how you got the whole thing and
How much
process and
time do you
stuff?
have? Because I could tell a short version
We
or a
got
long
time. We got
version.
time.
Okay. Long version. I was living in Canada and I was touring with this Canadian theater company called Corpus, and they do this show called the Sheep Show. So they have 8 dancers dressed in very realistic looking sheep costumes, and it's this very exact and specific and perfectionist show where you're behaving very realistically like a sheep for half an hour, and the audience hand feeds you lettuce and you eat lettuce out of the audience's hands. It's a weird show. It's beautiful. They toured all over the world. We toured to Japan. We toured to the Tokyo Metropolitan Museum. Anyway, not the museum. Sorry, we toured to Japan, and we toured to the Wool and Sheep Festival in upstate New York. And I have always been the kind of person who I like to talk to everybody. Like, I actually like to talk to the person who sits beside me on an airplane. I know a lot of people cringe with that kind of thing, but that's just who I am. So I was on tour with the Sheep Show at the Wool and Sheep Festival in upstate New York. And on my break, I wanted somewhere to eat my hot dog. And all the picnic tables had people sitting on them. So I asked this weird looking hippie guy, hey, can I share your table? I sat down next to him. And I have to talk to everybody. So I had to I wanted to talk to him. I'm like, what are you doing here? Why are you at this festival? You know, are you a sheep farmer? Like, what's your deal? And he's like, oh no, I'm a puppeteer. And I was like, no way, I'm a puppeteer. Because I've been working on kids' TV in Canada. And I was like, well, what do you do? He's like, oh, I play, you probably wouldn't know him. I play this little orange guy named, I'm like, Walter? He's like, yeah. He's like, and I play Ernie and this and that. And I was like, ooh. So I was talking with Peter Lenz, who likes to knit. And that's why
Who's a dear friend. I love Peter.
Peter, dear friend of ours. He's the best, and Alice too, of course.
Yeah. So then Peter and I started talking. And I was talking about TV puppetry, and he said, Sesame was doing these training workshops at the time, and they were always looking for new puppeteers who had TV experience. And he said to get in touch, and he gave me his information and to send them a demo. So I ran home and frantically put together a demo and sent it in. And maybe a year later, got invited to come to New York and take a training workshop for people who had TV puppetry experience but wanted more training. And I remember throughout that whole training workshop, which was so lovely. That's where I think it was led by Peter Lenz and Jen Barnhart.
Jen,
cool.
yeah, she's great too.
And so we're all doofusy around there puppeteering in this workshop. And throughout the workshop, they kept saying, "This is not an audition. This is not an audition." And I was like, I didn't think it was an audition until you started saying that it's not an audition. Now I'm starting to think it is an audition. I was taking a course. And then I think they invited me to a second one at some point. And then maybe another year or two, I don't know, later, I got invited to audition for Helpsters. And with very little notice, had to fly to New York and audition for the show. And I remember the night before the audition, I didn't live in New York at the time, and I slept on somebody's floor, and I was so stoked to do the audition. I did not sleep. Like, I literally laid on the floor like a vampire with my eyes open and this like big grin on my face all night long, just like so stoked.
That's great.
I wasn't like nervous. I was just really excited.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
Right. That you just give it a try and see what happens.
Yeah. And so I went to the audition, and they provided sides for the scripts for the 4 characters: Hart, Mr. Prim, Cody, and Scatter. And they asked us to pick 1 or 2 and prepare them. And so I picked Cody and Scatter, the 2 little guys, and I thoroughly memorized the script, came in, did my audition. And then as I was exiting the audition room, somebody pulled me aside and they said, "Hey, Ingrid, you're from Canada, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, "But you can get a visa." I was like, "Yeah, so easy. Don't worry about it." And then they said, "Well, we'd like you to audition for this other character. We'd like you to audition for Hart." And I was like, "Okay." So I took the script and I literally hid in a closet for 10 minutes and flash memorized the script for Hart scenes, because I hadn't memorized them, because I had only been asked to prepare 1 or 2 characters. So I flash memorized Hart, and I went to the audition, and they didn't have a big walk around puppet to wear in the audition, because of course the puppets hadn't been designed and built yet.
Right.
So they had a Cookie Monster style bag puppet.
Okay.
And they threw that on me and asked me to imagine that I was wearing a full body puppet. And then I think I must have had a chest monitor, like a screen that you can kind of wear as a vest, like what Big Bird
kind of like with Big Bird in a way. Yeah.
I think I had that. I don't remember. And and I just flung myself into the audition, and I had so much fun in there, just like kicking my legs into the air and peeking in and out of the frame and being a real idiot. Um, and yeah, and then, and then after that, I got cast on the show, which is insane.
That's
That's
And I was a
awesome.
that's
real,
wonderful.
yeah, and I was a real interloper because I didn't know any of these Sesame Street puppeteers.
Yeah, you know, Jen and yeah,
Stephanie and Tim,
Kathy Kim,
Yeah,
and
Stephanie
yeah,
DeBruzzo, Tim Legassi, all those
yeah.
yeah,
other
Hmm.
guys. Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
rolled in there as this outsider weirdo Canadian. Um,
Hmm.
and I also like didn't watch a ton of TV and don't really pay close attention to celebrity stuff. So was working on Helpsters, and we had so many celebrities on the show, and I mixed in with you know Broadway actors and people who weren't celebrities as well. And so I didn't know who a lot of these celebrities were. And at one point, I asked one of them, I'm like, "What's your name?" And the other puppeteers were like, "Ooh," and they just cringed because he's this famous person. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who this is. Um, and I think a lot of our celebrity guests actually really liked that because I just treated them like any other person, and it
Yeah.
wasn't,
Hmm.
you know,
Right.
Right.
fawning
Yeah.
over them or whatever. But yeah.
So this may be a tough question for you to answer, but in terms of Helpsters, do you have any favorite like episodes or songs?
Oh my god, I love working on that show so much. I have so like just nothing but fond memories of working on that show. I don't know if I was to pick an episode. Oh, I loved Hart's Family.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Hart's
That's
family
a good one.
photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um yeah, and actually some of the actors who played Hart's human siblings I still am in touch with.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Uh, and I love that Hart has a Muppet or a puppet mom and human brothers and sisters, and that's never
Oh, that's wow.
explained or
Interesting.
you
Right.
know yeah. Oh god, there's so many great episodes. Like Matt Vogel directed an episode where we got to do like a show tunes number. I remember that shooting that was really fun. We did so many long hour shoots on that show too, and in so many different weird locations. Like we'd be at a baseball diamond in 35-degree Celsius heat. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Really hot. In the middle of summer, we'd be on a beach in March in like freezing cold temperatures. But we had so much fun doing it. Oh, what are your favorite episodes? I don't know. Help me out here.
I
Hmm.
mean, I actually got to watch a lot of Helpsters to kind of prepare for this. But I mean, I know there's some of them that's kind of like another one that's kind of like related to a Heart, where it's about like Heart's fish and
Oh, my fish.
and the family dinner and the Helpsters help Heart, where it's basically where Heart was like kind of like stuck where Hart's at. So
Yeah,
the gang just kind of tell Hart like where they are to go in
yeah,
the right direction.
yeah, yeah. Hart gets lost in all of the rooms of the shop, including the
Hmm.
Yeah.
cloud
Yeah.
room and the on an escalator. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
stinky cheese room and
You
other.
stinky cheese room.
Yeah. Personally, I love the episode where Jason Mraz guest starred on the show, the episode of Musical Mabels and Barbara Birdwatcher.
Mm. He's
Those
a big
episodes are
puppet
fun.
nerd. You should interview Jason Mraz. I bet he would do your show. Jason, do the show.
It's interesting because years before he did Helpsters, he also did a bit on Sesame Street. I don't know if you knew that.
Right.
Big puppet nerd. He brought his own puppet to set to show us.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
He's,
great.
he's a big, and he was super sweet. I mean, very talented musician and super sweet person.
I'm sure he
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
there was there was an episode where we had Shaggy on the show as a musical guest just for like an
Oh,
hour.
cool.
But
Okay.
the funny thing is it was Jim Krupa's birthday, and Jim Krupa is the beloved puppeteer, and he is
Oh
known for
my
many
gosh.
things. Of course, he's like
Legend.
a
Yeah.
legendary puppet builder and all these things, but he's
And,
also known
with mechanism too.
Yeah, the
Like, oh my
mechanics.
gosh.
his mechanics. He's also known for his curly mustache.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so for his birthday, we were shooting on his birthday. We all decided to surprise him, and we all wore fake mustaches and Hawaiian shirts.
Right.
Jim wears Hawaiian shirts every single day of
Hmm.
his life. He owns like 300 Hawaiian shirts in different types of patterns. So yeah, so the
Wow.
whole cast and some of the crew were wearing Hawaiian shirts and fake mustaches. Um, and then Shaggy was about to come on set, and I stopped somebody. I was like, "Hey, don't you think we should warn Shaggy before he comes on set that everybody's going to be wearing mustaches for no reason? Like he's so that he doesn't think he's being pranked, or like so that he knows what's up, that it's a birthday thing. We're all celebrating Krupa. Krupa has a mustache." And they're like, oh, oh yeah, we probably should tell him, yeah, before he comes out. So thankfully they did, because then he came out and saw us all wearing mustaches. He's like, all right, yeah, guess that's that. We had a lot of fun on that show.
That's great. Yeah, there's so many good songs on that. Like, cheers. Oh yeah, the everything starts with the plan and the we've got
Yeah,
to plan the high fives
yeah,
and handshakes
yeah,
and the one song that the Neo actually got to guest
oh
on that show too. The
yeah,
directionality. There's so many great ones, and there are times where like there's some songs where like were hard, but sometimes you were like beatboxing, like
yeah.
beginning of some of the songs, just like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh.
I know. I
And
remember they were like,
and
"You're gonna beatbox in this." I was like, "Oh," they're like, "You can beatbox, right?" I was like, I
that's
mean,
what usually Heart does that. So I think they want Heart to do something like that with our songs. So it's kind of makes
yeah.
sense.
There was Marty Robinson, who plays Snuffleupagus, and he
Oh,
played
of
Mr.
course,
Crumb on
dear,
Of
dear
course,
friend.
of course,
yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
he's the best.
So he played Mr.
Great,
Crumb
great
on Helpsters,
person.
and
Hmm.
the set on
Yeah.
Helpsters has all these like beautiful, colorful knickknacks and things, and they have these little lockers that they never really use, but in the main Helpsters shop room, there's these little lockers, these little cupboards, and while we were filming, Marty would always had claimed one of the lockers as his own and would put his water bottle and his script in there and his jacket and stuff. Even though it was part of the set, it wasn't meant for us to actually use his lockers. He would just stash all his stuff in there. And so we shot one episode where they're all making a carnival, and filled a swimming pool full of little stuffed animal orange fishies, little fish toys, because they
Hmm.
couldn't find enough balls to make a ball pit. Anyway, so after
Okay.
we shot that scene, they had 300 plush fish toys left over from the shoot. And they had, well, that's showbiz, get rid of them because we're moving on to the next thing, right? And so
Right.
I stole as many of the fish as I could. I was stuffing them in my shirt and my backpack and in my pants. And I just stashed them all. And then I started hiding them on people, like sticking them in somebody's hoodie or sticking them in somebody's purse. Um, so long story short, I filled Marty's locker to the brim with little orange plush fish stuffed animals.
Oh, wow.
And then one day he saunters onto the set and he's ready to go, and he's gonna stash his script in his locker that he's not supposed to have, that he's using his personal locker. And he opens the door and they all go all over his face. He's like, Ingrid.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Murray. And
Yeah.
with also in this personal addition, to Helpsters, you also actually kind of got to like choreograph for the music videos for the songs too.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was one of our very last days of shooting. We shot Have a Helpful Day, the music video.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was so much fun. I got to work with all these amazing Broadway level dancers and then get them to do the dorkiest choreography possible. So we were out in the park shooting all day, and Tim Lagasse was directing the music video. I was choreographing it, and we had done, uh, storyboarded everything out. And oh, it was so much fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
That's one.
wonderful. So of course, Kathy Kim and Laura McLean, got to be, an assistant, helping you, with Heart and all that. What was it, like getting to work with both of them? You kind of like where the times where you need more puppeteers and all that stuff. What was it like, getting to work
It
with
was
them?
it was amazing. I showed up and I didn't know anybody. And most of the people on that crew knew each other really well, because even the crew members and a lot of the puppeteers and some of the directors and stuff, a lot of them all worked on Sesame.
Yeah.
And so I showed up, didn't know anybody. And on day one, I met Team Heart, which is, yeah, Kathy Kim on right arm, Laura McLean doing remote control eyeballs, and Sedwan Hooks, who was a wrangler on the show.
Oh,
And
cool.
he's an amazing puppet builder, puppeteer, voice actor. And Sedwan was wrangling, specifically assigned to wrangle Heart, just Heart, because Sedwan loves walk arounds. Um, and and I met Sedwan and I looked at him, he looked at me, and we're like, yeah. And we were just like instantly BFFs. And by the end of the first day of shooting, because he and I were both interlopers, right? Like he and I both
Yeah.
showed up on the show and didn't really know anybody, and everybody else knew each other. And by the end of the day, people were saying, "You two, you and Sedwan, like were you hired as a package team? Like were you hired as a duo?" Or somebody else asked, "Are they married?" Because we just had such an instant friendship connection. We're just like, you, me, we're best. Because it's like that, you have to rely on each other, and there's a lot of trust, and there's a lot of, especially when you're taking care of somebody who's a walk around where you can't see.
Right.
So Sedwan was real big on safety and making sure I didn't walk into traffic when we were shooting scenes in sidewalks and parks in New York City.
Right. Yeah. Because those can be busy streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We met some
Yeah.
dogs once, and they were very interested in Heart, but didn't like, they were barking and angry. And yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
And then Laura
Oh,
McLean is just amazing.
I
oh
know. Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Oh yes.
She's so good
So
at what she
hicky
does.
too.
Like the remote control puppetry is not easy. Like it's really, really not. And she would always have my audio in her earbuds, so she could hear exactly what I was doing, and she could hear me breathing and
Hmm.
everything. And so she could hear, she could, so that she could anticipate and move with organically the eyeballs with everything that was we were doing all the time. And in between shots, when we weren't actively filming a scene, we'd always be messing around. Hart would be talking to the celebrity characters and talking with Scatter, and we had all of these like goofy kind of like subplots that we were playing with in between shots of the actual show, just to keep to practice and to develop the characters and just to have fun. And so um and so Lars was always there with me, activating the eyes and in all of our messing around, like when we could be resting or we could be, taking a break, we were messing around. And that's part of why we were able to get so in sync, is we were, and same with Kathy Kim. Oh my gosh, Kathy was,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, both of them. I mean, they're great.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Kathy has, I think, the hardest job on that show, because she has to hide her human body behind me, behind Heart.
Right.
So for the listeners who don't know, I'll maybe paint you a picture. Heart is a big orange puppet about the size of a refrigerator, and I'm inside Heart wearing the puppet as a backpack. I've got one hand in Heart's head holding Heart's mouth, and the entire giant mouth is just manipulated with my thumb. So all of the weight, all of everything is all on my thumb. And then my left hand goes into Heart's left hand, and I wear that arm like a glove, like a sleeve. And I'm operating Heart's mouth and head and left hand. Laura McLean is doing the eyeballs and the eyelids with remote control. And Kathy Kim is outside the puppet, standing behind me, wearing head to toe orange clothes so that she can camouflage. And there's a slit cut in the back shoulder of Heart's fur, and it flaps open. And then Kathy can slide her arm through that slit, and she manipulates just the right arm.
Hmm.
Okay.
And so Kathy is hiding behind me, keeping her human body hidden, looking at the floor where there's a special monitor just for her so she can see the TV footage as live as it comes. And she simultaneously has to follow along with what I'm doing and also keep her human body hidden from camera. And when as the puppet moves and as the camera moves, she has to keep hiding herself, and it's a constant like ninja dance, and she's doing all of it in a squat position too because she has to be a little bit shorter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, they're wonderful. I know you kind of did a little bit of it earlier, but is it fine? We can probably hear a little bit of Heart.
Yes. Hello, Jake. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Hart.
Hello,
I actually
Heart.
have a tiny heart right here. So when we worked on the show, this is tiny heart made out of a cup.
Ah, that's cool.
Oh wow.
I did not make this. When we worked on the show, we had the set of the we have stools in the shop that the humans sit on, but we often had to remove the tops of these stools because they would be in the way and you would not see them in camera. So we take them off, put them away, but then there would be a pole sticking up that from the pole of the stool. So we had to cover up the pole with something so that it wouldn't get grease on the puppets. So the crew members would put a coffee cup on the pole. But then the crew members are fun. So they decorated the coffee cups to look like Tiny Heart and Tiny Mr. Prim and Tiny Scatter and Tiny Cody and Tiny Jackie, my cousin. So I got to keep Tiny Heart the cup.
Ah, that's cool.
That's wonderful.
That's cool. That's
That's
cool.
great.
So now moving on to, of course, with Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock, how did you first begin working on that? How did you get involved in the Fraggle world?
Yeah. So Fraggle, I got invited to send an audition, and then I think between the time that we sent in our auditions and when we got the word whether we were working on the show was a month or two of waiting. And I remember every night when I went to sleep, I would tell my partner, maybe tomorrow I will get an email from Fraggle Rock. Every night before I went to sleep, I was like, maybe tomorrow. And then one morning I got the email. Oh no, I didn't. Phone call? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, it was so we filmed Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock in Calgary, and it's a mix of American and Canadian puppeteers, and so I got to work a lot with Donna Kimball, who plays
Donna.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
she's
was
great.
I was playing Moki's pet plant Lanford.
Right.
Yep.
So I got to do I spent a lot of time in the Donna Kimball headlock of love, because when she was puppeteering Moki, she has a Moki puppet who's a very tall puppet on her one arm, and Moki would be carrying around Lanford in Lanford's little pot because he's a little plant that's alive. He kind of has the attitude of a cat, right? Who loves certain people and hates other people. And so Moki would be carrying around Lanford's pot, and I would have my arm in Lanford's pot. Donna would have her arm in Moki, and we would have to be sandwiched together. And then in order for Donna to hold Moki's arm rods and keep Moki's arms alive, she would have to literally strangle me, like put her arm around my neck like a headlock. And
Oh my gosh.
we would walk together.
Wow.
And I spent a lot of hours in the Donna Kimball headlock of love on set. And we would be doing
Well, there you go.
Yes. And we also, I think you should know, she would do a lot of this while wearing like 6-inch platform boots. Because Fraggle was filmed on a standing set, and on standing sets, there are varying heights and things. You need the puppets to reach certain heights, and also the puppeteers are of varying heights. So sometimes we wear these massive platform boots to be tall enough to reach certain things. So we'd be walking together in this headlock of love, both wearing giant platform boots.
Wow. Interesting.
Oh my goodness. That's great. So now, what was it like, getting into, performing the body for Ma Gorg and, performing other, characters like you just said with Lanford and, other background characters?
Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, Johnny Tartaglia is such a great team leader.
He is, yeah.
He is such a down
He's
to
awesome.
earth ever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not just what he's doing to keep, I mean, he's doing such a wonderful job. I don't think no one's will be in that more than him, really. I mean, not just keep going the legacy of what Jerry did with Gobo, but also creative
Yeah.
consultant, executive producer, or writer.
Writer, yeah.
He's done, he's done so much.
Yeah.
He's the best.
And Johnny's also somebody who, like I said, we were messing around between scenes on Helpsters to keep to develop the characters and everything. Johnny on set, he's always messing around between the scenes as Gobo. Just like you create alternates, you create additional storylines, you create other stuff that's going on, and he's also part of it. He's entertaining the crew and keeping everybody's energy up while we're because there's a lot of waiting on television. You're waiting for something to get fixed, you're waiting for the lighting to get set, so you shoot these long days, 12-hour days, sometimes 14-hour days, sometimes 16-hour days, and in between shots Johnny's always messing around. And part of that too is he develops insane chops as a puppeteer. I mean, he's been
Oh yeah.
so he doesn't need it, the practice, but so what am I gonna tell you about Fraggle Rock? Like we had a cast of 25 puppeteers. So
Oh yeah,
I've seen
like cast photos on Instagram. It's crazy how many people are on that.
yeah. Especially that we're like all like we're one of them. We're all of them like together. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So that alone was so much fun. I think I was part of initiating a couple theme days. Like we had Dress Like a Fraggle Day
Oh,
on
cool.
set, where people
Okay.
wore like furry tails, and like we all really got to love the Fraggle aesthetic of the clothes that the Fraggles wear. They wear a lot of like lumpy
Right.
sweaters with beads and really kind of like kitschy stuff that's I think kind of inspired by the arts and craftsy stuff in the 70s, so we would it starts to influence your own personal wardrobe. You start dressing like a Fraggle. But Ma Gorg, so oh my gosh, it was so much fun. You're wearing a head that is the size of a yoga ball, and inside of Ma Gorg's head there's a video screen that's only a couple inches from my eyes, so you get a little cross-eyed looking at it. And I'm getting video feed from the camera, so it's all reverse screen, right? What I'm seeing there. There's also in some walkarounds they have mesh, so you can look live and see what's out there. But Heart did not have mesh, and Ma Gorg did not have mesh, so there's no place that I could peek and look live or peek and see the world around me. All I can see, my only window to reality, is what I can see on the screen, and the screen is reverse image. So navigating that set was really fun. And then of course it got really intensely hot wearing those.
Right. I mean, especially like over periods of days, throughout the day, and do more shootings, and then how the weight inside, and then I totally get that.
Yeah, and so somebody came up with this brilliant idea to get an electric powered leaf blower, and like you'd use for yard work. And in between shots, when we're getting really warm, they would pop open the neck collar or pop open the sleeve of the Gorg puppet and shove the leaf blower inside, which looks horrendous if you really, but they would shove the leaf blower in and just go and give you a shot of air, and instantly all of the air that was formerly inside of your Gorg suit gets refreshed, and you get cool air, and you also get oxygen. Because that's for me, that's the main problem with performing inside Ma, is I'm okay getting hot. I don't sweat that much, but the longer you're in there, the less oxygen you have.
Yeah.
So after a while, your brain starts to get a little foggy because you don't have enough oxygen, and the longer you stay and it's harder to perform well because you don't have any brains left.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh. And like, and Amy Garcia got to do, voice for it.
Voice.
Yeah. And then he got to work alongside with Ben DeRoche. He was the body for Pa Gorg. So, So I'm
Yeah.
sure you all
So many
just
wonderful talents on that show. My
I know
goodness.
I know.
Yeah, Amy played Trash Heap,
Yep,
Right.
Marjorie
and I
the
got to
Trash
Hmm.
Heap.
play Trash Heap's left hand. So I got to spend a lot of time hiding in a hole with Amy Garcia.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool. Nice.
yeah, and assisting IC Joe too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love doing the live hands. It's so much fun. The live where
Yeah.
the glove hand puppets and doing the live hands, manipulating props and stuff. It's really fun. And I love assisting too. I got to do a lot of assisting on Boober with Frank Meshkalite,
Oh, cool.
um,
Frank, yeah.
voiced by Dave Goles, of course. And then
Right.
yeah, some of the scenes we did, some of the shots, like Fraggle was such a huge show, and some of the shots would be insanely technical, where they'd have a camera moving through the set to get all these different shots of caves and cave creatures and this and that. And they do these long, sweeping shots where the camera moves on a jib through everything, and then you've got 25 different puppeteers, and they all have to keep their heads hidden from the shot. And it's this really like razor wire dance of the camera achieving all of its beautiful angles and everything, and also keeping everybody's heads out of the shot. And it was kind of bonkers. But I remember, I was going to tell you about, oh, so there's one shot we did for the episode that where the archivist visits Fraggle Rock.
Oh yeah, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah.
Love that
Hmm.
Yeah.
episode.
And
Yeah.
Boober's tail is glowing. His Volubius is glowing, and he's
Right.
so weirded out by it, and he wants to hide it from everybody. And
Yeah.
the archivist visits him, and they sing this song where she's telling him not to worry about it. And they're flying, and they're also, we show all this stuff where they're spinning around with the wind in this cave. Amy Garcia was puppeteering the archivist, and I was doing her hands. And so she's
Ah.
like singing and dancing in the wind, and we were standing on this big rolling rig that was like a big kind of cube that we're standing inside of, that's on wheels. And Johnny
Hmm.
Tartaglia and another crew member are holding them, and they're just like wheeling them around. So imagine like being in a shopping cart and somebody just going nuts, like whipping it around in circles and circles and circles and circles. And we had a monitor on the rig, and we're both puppeteering while we're going.
Wow.
It was, and also to make like these wind effects, they had other crew members with leaf blowers again, aimed at the and fans aimed at the puppets, going like blowing wind in your face, to try to make the puppets close, and the puppet, all kind of be like rustling in the wind beautifully. Oh, it was so much fun. Good thing I don't get motion sick.
Right.
Yeah, and then as well as Skeeter, Stone, and one of like Poggy's like best friends, a little Wago too.
Larago, yeah. I really Kanye and I kept talking about how Pogi and Little Rago were best friends, and what they get up to when when they're when, when they're not in the scene. Yeah, the adventures of Little Rago, which is like all night long. They're just like, I can jump high, I can jump really high, and just like jumping up and down for like 12 hours, or just
Oh,
the stuff that
Kanye.
they would do together. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, he's the best. So now like kind of what we did with Helpsters, now we're back to rock. Do you have any favorite episodes or songs from Back to Rock?
Oh, I love when Moki met Lanford.
That's the one I was gonna, yeah, I love that episode.
Yeah, when Mookie met Lanford,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I really loved getting to play Lanford, and I loved in the, I think, I don't say episode's called This for That, but it's the where they learn about capitalism and trade through
Yeah.
stories.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
there's so in the script there is nothing for Lanford in that script. But because I imagine that Lanford, he's obsessed with Moki, he thinks she's the coolest person in the world, and so everything she would say he would imitate,
Yeah.
as if yeah, like as like yeah, me too, kind of thing. And so throughout that whole episode she kept saying things, and Lanford would just copy it the whole time. And so I padded the scene so much, like I added all of these little interjections in where I'll be saying, yes, it's this for that, woof for bluff. And uh and Jordan Canning, the director, she's like, we're keeping all of them. So that was really fun. It was
Yeah. One
Yeah.
one emotional episode that comes to mind in the second season is the Letting Go episode.
That's what I was about to say too.
Yeah. where Moki's kind of having trouble letting go from Lanford when Lanford's like needed to help like with the Gorg's garden.
Yeah.
That whole
Right.
scene was kind of emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, I'm Pokey and Nine of the Lights,
Yeah.
and
Oh, and Night of the Lights was so fun to shoot.
I can imagine, and
Yeah.
the Just Takes Two and Magic Be With You. I mean, the music wise for the Back to Rock as well is so great.
Yeah. And some of that stuff, like Jordan Canning was the director
Oh, Jordan, yeah,
for
Yeah.
the
wonderful director.
yeah, and she had this. She came in for the It Takes Two music video or scene shoot.
Right.
She had the whole thing storyboarded out. She wanted to have, the big lift, like Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner,
Yeah.
Dirty Dancing lift, and all this stuff. And she had just like brilliantly planned it all out to a T. And so executing that was so much fun. Um, yeah, and Amy Garcia was helping us choreography for Moki and Lanford to do together, to do this like cheesy best friend dance.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, Donna, like the way she sang for that track. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. I remember laying down the audio for Lanford for that track, and it was just like it's so goofy, He's like he's singing everything in gibberish. It was yeah.
That's great. But yeah, back to Rock, wonderful. Then to keep, Fraggle Rock going, and recently first season of Back to Rock is now on DVD, and now next year there's going to be Back to Rock, live, and so
Yeah.
we'll see what
Hmm.
happens in the future down the road
Be
for
interesting. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, before we get to the last questions, of course, you also co-founded a SNAFU Dance Theater. Can you kind of talk about that and some of the projects SNAFU's worked on?
Sure. Yeah, we've done a ton of things. So I co-founded SNAFU in 2006 in Victoria, Canada, and we used to be called SNAFU Dance Theatre, and we recently renamed ourselves the SNAFU Society of Unexpected Spectacles.
Ah.
And so we've created uh, 25 or 26 shows, live
Oh,
shows,
nice.
and we do a mix of, sometimes we do giant outdoor spectacles like in a park outside. We do local shows with huge casts of people, and then we also have done some nimble touring shows. So right now I've been touring a lot of these two shows that are live puppet shows that incorporate live stage puppetry with television puppetry. So I've got a puppet table set on stage, and I've got a camera on that table, and then a bunch of miniature environments and things, and the camera is connected to a video projector, the giant screen. So basically you watch me making a puppet film live on stage using mostly bare hands and objects, and then you see the puppet film come to life on the big screen behind me as I'm making it and doing all the voices and everything. And that show's called Epidermis Circus. Epidermis meaning skin, and circus just because it rhymed. And then that show has a companion show called The Baby Tyler Show, where
Oh,
it's
okay.
uh, it's similar technical setup with a camera and a big screen, but it's all created for children audiences. So that show, those two shows,
Yeah, kind of like with Inky's Finkies.
yeah, it's the retitled of Bingies Fingies. Same show.
Ah, okay.
Just change the title. Don't tell anyone. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So those two shows, I've been touring a lot, and we're starting to get a lot of bookings all over the world, which is crazy. We recently performed in New York City. They wanted Baby Tyler to be in a variety show that was produced by David Byrne, who's the lead singer of the Talking Heads.
Hmm.
Um, and then we did a sold out show of Epidermis Circus at the Lincoln Center in New York City, and an off Broadway one run at the Soho Playhouse, and that was really fun because I got to come back to New York and perform my weird live spicy puppetry cabaret, Epidermis Circus. But I got to invite all of the puppeteers and crew and directors and writers and people from Helpsters. So we had a big Helpsters reunion at that show.
that's great.
Yeah, it was
That's
really cool.
wonderful.
And like Marty and Stephanie and Jen and Kathy and Laura and
That's
Sedwan
wonderful.
and Jamaica, all these
Oh,
people.
Jamaica Collins. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She's wonderful too.
she
Yeah.
worked on this too. Um, and a whole bunch of the crew members and stuff, they all came out to see my weird live puppet show off Broadway. And yeah,
That-
um,
That's great.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
awesome.
And then the other thing that that company does is off and on we've been doing shows with a prison theater company in Victoria, Canada. So there's a minimum security men's prison outside of the city where every year the incarcerated people put on a giant play, and um, they invite the public to buy tickets to the play and drive out to the woods to the prison and go through prison security and get shuttled to the prison gymnasium, which they transform from a hockey gym into a big theater. And they build all
Oh,
the sets and
cool.
all the costumes and stuff. And then the incarcerated people, like the prisoners, perform a live play that they created for the public.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that's,
That's great.
yeah. We've done
Nice.
some of that stuff too.
Yeah,
Nice.
like, you being a kind of like a director and co-artistic educator and a lot of other things for that too, just great, and looking forward to what's more to come and more for that. So I kind of like forgot to brought this up, but like there are times that they actually got to, since we're kind of talking about like theater now, there are times that you actually got to like teaching like workshops and puppetry and theater, like including the scam is how to puppeteer anything. Can you kind of like briefly talk about what's it like getting to do those?
Teaching puppet workshops?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. You meet all the puppet nerds and all the would-be puppet nerds. No, it's I love teaching. It's every group is different. I teach all ages. Like I teach adults puppetry a lot sometimes, but I've also taught, kindergartners and all grades. Prisoners. Actually, there was a really funny time. I was teaching a puppetry workshop at the prison, and everybody's doing
Oh,
puppetry for the first time, and we're doing instead of like a Muppet style puppetry, we're doing a more abstract or kind of universal form where we're just taking clothes and fabric and bunching it up and tying knots into it to create a head and animating that. So it's more of like object puppetry, surreal puppetry. And so we're doing that. I'm getting all the guys in the prison to create their own puppet creatures with scarves or hats or things. And you can make anything. It could be a dog or like a slug monster or a blob or
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like every object, like a water ball, it can,
yeah,
even,
yeah, totally. And so to finish up that workshop, often what I do is instead of having a performance, because sometimes you can put people too much on the spot to do that, I do what I
Yeah.
call the puppet petting zoo. So I'll divide the class
Oh,
into
wow.
two and get half the class to pretend to be the children going on a field trip to the puppet petting zoo, and get the other half of the class to put all their puppets out on a table and be animating them and making them come to life. And then the children half of the class go and interact with all the puppets. So you get to have a bit of a show and tell, but it's all everybody together kind of playing together, and you get to hand feed the puppets imaginary kibble and pet them, or some of them like people and some of them don't like people and all that kind of stuff. It's really fun. But so at the prison when we did this, I gave the instruction, okay, this half is going to make a puppet petting zoo, this half is going to be the children. And the guys were stoked, and they immediately, there's so much imagination out there, and often being incarcerated, they're also so bored, so they don't get to do much, right? So instantly their creativity goes into overdrive, and they're like, we need to create a puppet petting zoo. So they opened up the fridge and they pulled the shelves out of the fridge that was in the common room, and they're like bars, like a grate, the wire shelving of the refrigerator, and they put them together and they made a little jail for the puppets.
Oh,
And
wow.
then so their puppets,
Oh,
it was like a weird meta moment where these people who are incarcerated built themselves their own jail for the puppets, and these weird little puppet creatures that they've made throughout the workshop.
Wow.
And these like weird little puppet creatures are like reaching their arms through the bars of the refrigerator door puppet jail that they made and reaching out to the hands of the other prisoners who are pretending to be children at the petting zoo. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's wonderful. So, since we're about to getting close to wrap things up, but of course, like I said, if your work with current projects, with SNAFU, can what are you working on now? Unless if you're allowed to talk about, of
I am.
course.
I'm doing a lot of tours. They're touring this show, and we're touring this show. And so Epidermis
Nice.
Circus and the Baby Tyler show. And this little weird puppet is it's a doll's head for the head, and then my bare hand is his body. So
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
yeah,
That's
it's
interesting.
it's he's hilarious. He's such a weird puppet.
Oh, that's
Um,
wow.
but we're touring those shows. Oh my god, this is a lot. I'm doing a big tour through Canada, and then I'm going to Estonia, Portugal, Denmark, and Korea. And then in September, I'm going to the largest puppet festival in the world that's in Charleville, France.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's great. Looking forward to more, more coming up as well.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. We have a bunch of European puppeteers from all over the world.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, exactly. So now, so our last question, Chris, about to ask. We usually ask every guest at the very end. Go ahead, Chris.
So this podcast is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or how would you define nostalgia?
Um, I've often heard people refer to nostalgia as like heroin for old people,
Interesting.
but I don't agree. I mean, that's one definition.
Right.
How do I define nostalgia? I mean, I think I think I wish I spent more time in nostalgia, in reflection, because when you reflect back on your life, you relive moments and you relive things that you loved. And um, I was recently listening to a podcast about fandom as well. I'm kind of, if you haven't noticed, I tend to take a lot of tangents, so I might not answer your question. But I was listening to a podcast about the science of happiness and how fandom, which I think relates to nostalgia, is like going back and fangirling or fanboying or fanning over things you love.
Right.
This podcast about the science of happiness and brain chemistry and fandom, and how engaging in fandom, like really loving the things that you love, whether that's Fraggle Rock or whether that's the Golden Girls or whether that's whatever,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Elvis music, brings you
Right.
a lot of joy, and is actually chemically and scientifically really good for our sense of happiness. Um, and so I'd like to try to bring more nostalgia into my life in that. And I think nostalgia involves a lot of like reflecting back on your past, and that's not something I do enough. I actually kind of go through my life. I work on something and I'm off to the next, and I work on something and I'm off to the next, and I don't spend a lot of time reflecting on where I've been or what I've done. And because I think partly because I'm not a very anxious person, and a lot of people reflect a lot because they're reliving all the things they did that day to just to analyze what happened, and did they do something wrong or did they do something embarrassing. And I don't really get embarrassed, and not very easily, and I don't I'm not a very anxious person, so I don't really have that same motivation to go back and relive my events in my day or relive my events. Um, but because of that, I sometimes don't remember stuff because I don't spend time reflecting on it.
No worries.
I'd like to build more nostalgia into my life.
Well, Ingrid, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This is a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This is a lot of
Yeah, of
fun.
course. Yeah, absolutely.
Goodbye, and I hope you have a very happy Christmas.
You as well.
You too as well, Hart, and
Yes.
Ingrid too.
Yes. All
All right.
right. Well, keep in touch. We'll let you know when this goes up. This was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, Hart. Thanks again,
Goodbye.
Ingrid. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
It's goodbye from us as well, everyone. We absolutely enjoyed our time with Ingrid Hansen. Links to our website and social media, as well as links to SNAFU and other things like that, will be in the description down below. For anyone who wants to connect with Ingrid, check out our work or check out SNAFU's work. keep on the lookout for more wonderful interviews coming your way. And as always, what do we say, Jake?
Keep nostalgia alive. Take care, everyone. See you next time. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode. Be sure to follow Jake and the Happy Nostalgia team on social media, check out our website, and stream the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember to keep nostalgia alive. Bye-bye.